Good morning. It's Vaping Coast to Coast. Today we have Blaine Nordby and Cassidy Beardyvaper. It is almost Christmas. This is episode 10. We can't believe we made it through 10 of these, and we're going to do 10,000 more. My co-host, PolishVapesUK, is here. Say hi.
Hi guys, back again, episode 10. Can't believe we've actually made it to episode 10.
Yeah, Vaping Dawn to Dusk. I always get confused because I do another show called Vaping Coast to Coast, but our show is called Vaping Dawn to Dusk. It's early in Seattle. So today we've got Blaine Nordby and we've got Cassidy Dorman. Let's talk to these guys and say hi. We're going to hear their vaping stories. We're going to talk about vaping. We're going to talk about diacetyl. We're going to talk about DNA 200s, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and we have got giveaways this week as well, guys.
Yeah.
So one for the live chat and one for the replay, which we'll talk a little bit about in a little while.
We're giving away the Adore Holiday Special, 130 of each flavor, and those are given away during the chat today. And so you may get those before Christmas. And we're also giving away a freaking...
Royal Hunter RDA.
Yeah, what the fuck? I want a Royal Hunter RDA. Anyway, we're giving away a Royal Hunter. So that's going to be for the replay. That is killer. So, Luke, what are you vaping on, buddy?
Like always, got the VT boxed DNA 200 with, I'm actually using the support. I've actually started to really enjoy this, even though I'm not that keen on the airflow because it's a little bit tight compared to what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I've really been enjoying the flavour of it. I don't think I've posted it yet, but I've done the review. If it's not up, it will be up soon. It's ready to go up. And then I've obviously got my tugboat in series with the 13 Heavens because I absolutely love this RDA.
13 Heavens or the El Cabron are going to be my next RDA, I think.
Yeah, and I've got this Snapdragon that I'm still playing around with at the moment.
Nice.
To sort out a build in it. But I have got the Wismec RX 200 coming soon. Just ordered it.
That's fantastic. Hey, Blaine, you and Cassidy can unmute yourselves, by the way, if you'd like.
Hello.
I was just going to say, hi, everybody. I was just going to say that I'm still vaping on. The only thing I got new this week is my eVape BTC Mini version 2. And I don't think users may all know this, but this has a freaking pearlescent paint job like a car. And the white ones and the black ones and all do, but the red turned out amazing. So these are great. I'm using it in bypass right now, so I'm just going like a stick mod on my Watofo Lush, which I really like this. I'm losing a little power here. I've got my DNA 200 with my support. I'm a big fan of the support. Once you get the airflow dialed in, you can be pretty much done. And of course, I've got the series box running my velocity because it's got a real high. It's a 4.43. Delicious. So, Blaine and Cassidy, introduce your guys. You guys, no, I mean, introduce yourselves. I'm sorry, it's early in Seattle. I can't talk. Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? Blaine, you're in Canada, right?
Yep. Central part of Canada. Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Jeez, you want some cold beef and an egg?
It's early in the morning here too. I've had maybe 2 hours of sleep. I'm tired. But it's snowing outside right now. It's gross and disgusting.
That's awesome. We're glad to have you. Cassidy, how are you doing? Cassidy Dorman is Beardyvaper on Instagram. He's our buddy. Friend.
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking.
I'm awesome. I mean, you're awesome. That's killer. What are you guys vaping on? Blaine, what do you got there? I saw a Kanger.
Right now, I got 2 Kangers, both white and red.
Oh my god.
And I know. It's my white one. The white one's my wife's, but I'm stealing it because I want some extra battery life and stuff. But one I got some Suicide Bunny OB in it. And the other I have from a Canadian company called Premium Labs, and their line called Decoded, and the flavor is Area 51. It's a mango lychee papaya flavor, and it is phenomenal.
That sounds good. By the way, that sounds killer, and you know that I'm a huge Kanger fan. I've got mine right here too, and so I'm proud of you. That's a great thing to start. Cassidy, what are you vaping on?
I am
Hello.
vaping on, as soon as I finish dripping here, vaping on a Tesla 2 100 watt. They say it's unregulated, but it's throttled down to 100. It won't go above 100. CLT Mini V3. I think I've got like a 0.12 ohm dual coil setup in there right now. And a Dory Liquid Hazy Custard, because that's fantastic. And real quick, I said I would do this because they deserve it. Ordered 2 30 ml bottles, which are these little unicorns here. And Dawn Michelle actually upgraded me to 2 of these, 2 120 ml bottles.
Oh, yeah, she sent you 2 120s, didn't she?
Yeah, I'm set on juice for quite a while. Well, if I stop giving it away to
Lucky
people.
person.
She just like randomly does nice things for people. Like,
Yep.
she
So yeah,
does
people
that.
should definitely go and support Adore E-Liquid, not just because of the connection with the show, because Dawn Michelle's awesome and she deserves your business.
She also did that during the busiest sale she'd ever had at the time. So that was really nice of her. She's a nice
Yeah, no,
gal.
it's fantastic.
I can't believe she gave you fucking 120s. My God, I want a 120. I need another one of these. Look how empty that shit is.
Well, I shat bricks when I opened the box, for sure.
That's fun. I'm really glad. We're trying to get Blaine some more too.
Oh, I would love some.
We're gonna smuggle it up there in our anus. Across the...
Yeah, there is a question about that. I thought maybe we'll get into doing getting into your vaping stories, and then we'll get into some of the questions that people have got, especially about Canada.
Can we just say hello though first, because I forgot to say hello. There's a bunch of people in chat we have to say hello to. I know that Brian's here, Misfit's here, James Reeves here, one of my favorite people, and there's Hollow Angel. You're awesome, of course. Smitty, Polish Vapes. That guy's always lurking. Can we kick him out?
Yeah, we should.
That dude. Cobra Fire, I don't recognize your name, but thank you for coming. And Highland. And what else, guys? Sil Jones 71, yes.
Yeah,
Jeremy
I know
Baby.
Aid Whiplash is in
He's
there.
here, of course. Of course.
Skeletor is watching, but he's on his phone.
Yeah, Skeletor's here too. So if you guys want to taunt him, he's watching on his phone, and all he can do is yell at his phone. You can say anything you want to him in chat,
Yeah.
and he'll just be like, whatever. You know. I do have an extra biscuit, Jeremy Baby, by the way, but it's a coconut. It's a coconut butter. Is that okay? I'll give them to you.
Oh.
I do actually have a biscuit. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and don't forget also, everybody, we're doing a giveaway later, and don't forget that if you like the show, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Don't forget to click the subscribe button wherever it is. My face will rise up and click, and that way you'll get email notices about our new shows. And up and coming, we're going to do a show that's a follow-up to our DIY. We're going to do another one of those. And then another show we're going to do is a show with Luke and I building coils live and showing you how everyone is not perfect.
Yep.
We're going to show you us actually building coils, and we're not going to hide the mistakes we make or anything like that. You're going to see that everyone's a normal person, and it's fun and easy.
Oh, Highlanders from the UK.
Yeah.
Welcome. Portsmouth as well, which is only like 20 minutes away from me.
Yeah, you're like near Portsmouth. I originally had Portsmouth on your lower third because that's like your ICBM address.
And just an update for everybody, next week's show will be on Sunday because Juicy doesn't love us and he'd rather go to Star Wars and leave
That's
me
true.
at home.
Yep. I'm sorry. Next week at this time, I'm going to be watching Star Wars, and so I got 7 a.m. tickets, and we're going to be there. So I apologize, but it'll be fun. We did another show on Sunday before with Aid, and it was a good time. And as long as that doesn't interfere with your schedules, I mean, we love the live viewers, but the replays will always be there for you if you want to see it. Yeah. And next week, I think we're going to have Cloud Beast 12, and I think that's just scheduled in with a pencil. And I forget, we had another idea, but it'll be good. So, what do you think? Should we start asking these guys for their vapor stories?
Yeah, let's get some info.
Blaine, tell us how you stopped smoking. Tell us how much you smoked. Tell us everything about that. Like, where are you at now?
I started smoking when I was about 13, so 27 now.
So 2 years ago?
No, I'm still young, but I'm not that young. But so I guess 14 years, I guess. I smoked anywhere from a pack to 2 packs a day, easy.
So you're a real smoker.
Oh, a real smoker.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what. Sometimes it was up to 3 to 4 packs, depending on how stressful the day, but mostly it was 2 to 3. I started about I tried vaping like 4 years ago, back in the cartomizer days, and it didn't stick. Didn't like it, so I went back to smoking. Then 2 years ago, I got this little pen stick thing. My wife bought it for me and went, "You're gonna quit," and I went, "Okay." And that didn't work. That worked for maybe 2 weeks. I went back to cigarette smoking. And then I guess this summer, a buddy of mine at work, he started vaping, and he went, "Well, you got to try vaping and all this kind of stuff." I tried it. Again, I went to my vape store, and they sold me a lot of bullshit, and got a device that I didn't really like, didn't stick, so I went back to smoking.
So you had one of those vape stores that was like just not informing you, not asking you questions. Like they didn't ask you questions.
They didn't ask me how much I smoked, which is a big thing for me now. And when I tell any new vapors, that's the number one question for me, anyways. They didn't ask, what I wanted out of the device. They didn't ask, anything. They just went, "Here's this. You should buy it." And I think they were pointing me into a Nautilus, which there's nothing wrong with the Nautilus. I kind of liked the Nautilus, but it wasn't my thing because I have always been even when I smoked, direct lung inhaler. So nothing was really.
That's
unusual, really?
Actually.
That comes back to my younger years, testing out some not so legal things.
We still talk about that. I mean, basically, the mouth to lung is the way pot smokers use bong hits. So I mean, we can talk about it openly. It's not like it's.
Okay.
That is,
yeah. So I mean,
you don't
I was
have to admit to it.
No. So I was always, and then deep inhale type of thing with joints and stuff like that. So I've always.
That's interesting because most smokers don't smoke that way. But
I know.
That's a cool vaping story. So then you found it quite easy to get into vaping, I'm guessing.
Well, as soon as I found the Kanger Tech, I found it. I started vaping and instantly. I didn't even look at cigarettes again. I was like, okay, I don't even want it. I had to find some good juices because, some of the juices that my vaping store that I went to the first time was selling was just garbage. Really bad throat hit. It was, giving me sore throats. But I kind of pulled through it just so I could quit smoking.
I'm impressed.
So once I finally found the premium juices and my new store that I go to all the time because it's one of the best stores ever.
If it's a good store, what is it? Plug them. Tell us.
It's RPI, and they actually hold one of the largest selections of e-juice in Western Canada right now.
Awesome.
So with them, it's not so bad to get your e-juices. I just can't get the Adores and the Gem and the Fritas, stuff like that.
You can't get the good small ones yet.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Only the big guys who are already with distributors can get to Canada easily.
Yeah, like Suicide Bunny and.
Yeah, they have made smart deals to get into Canada too. I love Suicide Bunny, but so I am so glad to hear that you have a good shop that you like. That's a huge deal.
Well, it's a huge.
Show us your Kanger. Wave it around. Let everyone see. I personally think, in my opinion,
love this thing.
Kanger changed the world with that thing, and that once they did that, everyone started copying them. The reason why this exists, and the reason why the D2 exists, and the reason why a lot of single battery mods exist the way they do now are improvements on that design. So, SMY2. So that's awesome. So I'm glad. So you are having no problem with it now that you've got the Kanger. And what nicotine strength are you on? What did you start with?
Actually, I started with 12 and found that way too harsh. So I basically went down to 6s. And with the premium juices that I get, that's still too harsh for me. I'm sitting at right now at a 3, a comfortable 3. I vape, kind of chain vape, but that's a small price to pay.
Yeah, that's killer. I think that's great. Well, that's a pretty interesting story, actually. You don't hear about a lot of people who mouth-to-lung cigarettes, and of course I've seen that, and I've done it when I smoked also. But it's very interesting. But you see, for the viewer's sake here, that everyone smoked differently, and everyone had different amounts they smoked, and different tolerances, and every human body has a different susceptibility to being addicted to cigarettes, and so it's going to be different for you than it was for him or Luke or me or Cassie or anyone else. So one of the lessons of the show, and the reason we have show after show, is to have everyone show them that it's all different for everybody. Cassidy, tell us how you started vaping, and how your smoking story ended and you became a vapor. How'd that work?
I started smoking. I'm not one of those people that smoke for years and years. I smoked for about 3 years, but the problem was I started smoking, life happened, got in some stressful situations, and by the time that I stopped smoking, I was at 2.5 packs a day, having to empty my ashtray 2 or 3 times a day. My mother quit smoking using, cigalikes, cheapo gas station style ones, and then I kind of got interested in it, started getting, cheapo batteries, little 350 mAh cartomizer ones. Didn't work for me, same way Blaine said, and I went back to smoking after that. Then I got onto the e-cigarette forum, started talking to people on there, went from cigarettes, 2.5 packs a day, to an EVOD, and the EVOD with 24 milligram strength liquid in it, which is absolutely insane to me now because I'm down to 3 in my dripper, and anything above that kills me.
But that's so valid, though. I mean, you went all the way into the correct thing with the right strength because you were a heavy smoker.
Yep, exactly.
That kit is designed for people like you.
Yep. And went from the EVOD to a MVP 2.0, and that completely changed my life, having a variable wattage and variable voltage. Then from there went to a Pro Tank 2. Then from the Pro Tank 2, then I got into the hobbyist stuff. I went to mech mods. I went to 18650 bullshit, which I'm not a huge fan of 18650s now. I know that you're not yourself.
I'm not, yeah.
It's all about the internal batteries now. And then I started building my own coils and going to the dripping. And I've never looked back since. I was dual using for a while. Every now and again, maybe I've had 5, 6 beers, I'll have the urge to have an actual cigarette. But if I do, it's very, very few and far between. One a month, one every 2 months. But no, I'm kind of the classic case of vaping saved my life.
Hey, remind me, please. I'm happy to hear that. Remind me, please. How long ago did you actually quit smoking?
I got my first electronic cigarette kit that really helped me kick it about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
It was kind of a I'm going to say higher end cigalike, and then like I said, through my own research and stuff, I kind of skipped around and ended up on the Kangertech products. And Kangertech, like you said, revolutionized the industry, got more people off cigarettes, I think, than any other singular brand because of the fact that they were making things that produced a little bit more. They were a little bit, a little bit better. They produced better vapor. They produced better throat hit, better than just the crappy low end, high resistance cartomizers.
Well, there is definitely right now. It's a great time to start vaping and quit smoking because right now you have more choices than you've ever had before. And for right now. For gals and guys like you who are like heavy-duty smokers, we have a lot of good choices for those high resistance but better airflow, better battery devices we can give them now, like this, for God's sake. In fact, I'll put a new battery in here while we talk. And then also for people like Blaine, you have an interest. That's really interesting how easy it is for you to transition. It's sometimes difficult to explain to the smokers how you will end up going. You might end up going mouth to lung, but it's important to note that you can vape mouth to lung just like a cigarette forever. It's only a matter of getting a device with a battery system good enough so that it supplies the right kind of power. And then if you get the right kind of atomizer, like this Typhoon GS2, you can mouth to lung on this for the rest of your life and be perfectly satisfied. It will taste delicious and you won't die.
One of the issues I think that turns people away, people that are looking to get off the cigarettes and into vaping, is that they try to go too high power. I found in my personal experience that the best balance is to go high nicotine and low power, which is why a set voltage EVOD worked really well for me.
For quitting.
3.7 volts. For quitting, yes.
Yeah.
Now the problem is I opened my Pandora's box and turned into the Instagram vapor that I am today. But yeah, I mean, you really need to find your sweet spot of your power and your nicotine level and your vapor production and your flavor and everything you want. I had to explain to somebody the other day, it's all trial and error. You are going to go through some stuff. You're going to find things you don't like, but you shouldn't. The key is to not let yourself be put off by it.
Right. And also the key is to understand how you get satisfied, because the principal fact is that it's nicotine. It's getting hot here in my house. Sorry, guys. The principal fact, I don't know which way my hair is parted. The principal fact is that it's nicotine that we're addicted to. And so, you know, you who needed a lot of nicotine, you needed a way to get that easily. And the best way is high resistance, high nicotine juice in a sipper puffer. And then as you go, if you need less nicotine, you go into a more of a mouth to lung cloudy. Like I was just looking at Highland on here. He just got his Crown. There it is right there, baby. Crown, stainless steel. I'm a big Crown fan.
Well, talking about that, because he's just got the Crown tank with the nickel coil and the 0.25 and the 0.5 ohm stainless steel coils. And his question is, can he use it in TC mode on his mod? He's got the X Cube 2. I know some people have had issues with it jumping out of TC mode, but you should be able to use the stainless steel. If it's got stainless steel mode, which I know the X Cube 2 has, you should be able to use them in temp control. But I know some mods and some people have said that the X Cube has been jumping out of temp control.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think, since they've done a lot of the upgrades, I think it's been okay, but I know people had issues with it jumping out of temp control.
Well, let me tell you, I was at the barber yesterday, and which I love my barber. They're the Acme Barber Shop right down the street here on Denny in Seattle. They're great. And Ian does my hair, but I met another guy, and his name is Cameron, and a super cool guy. He's on Instagram too. And he had an X Cube 2 and a Crown, and we bonded because I'm a huge Crown fan. And I didn't ask him if he was running in TC. I think he was. I'm running on temperature control on this thing. So I'm a big fan of the Crown. It's loud as fuck, but it's a good, inexpensive, reliable device that has a few little nitpicky things, but not bad. You did a good. You can't criticize someone for buying a Crown, can you guys?
The Crown is amazing.
I mean, it's like I can't. You can tell them there's other atomizers. There's TFE4s and there's all kinds of other good ones, really good ones by a lot of people. Even the Playboy one. I mean, they're all good. But if someone buys a Crown, I can't say you got the wrong one. There's no way. You can't do it. So Cassidy, talk about, at least not talk about, but tell me about your Instagram and how you got interested in that, because we met on Instagram and it was just because we have cool beards. Also, everyone noticed we all have cool beards. All of us.
Yeah, well, I was just kind of putzing around one day. I was in between projects. I was taking a break from I was designing something for somebody. Was bored, and then I'm like, let me check out this Instagram thing, because I've always been a big fan of, Homeboy OC, Blue Eyed Goon 83, Twisted Messes, guys who got their start on Instagram. Used to always go to their Instagram pages on Google, and I decided that I wanted to have an Instagram account, basically it's a follow account, so I could follow those guys.
Yeah.
And then I just got into it, and I started taking pictures, and I guess kind of the rest is history. I'm not like a super famous Instagrammer or anything, but people seem to enjoy to a certain extent the pictures that I post. It's just me blowing clouds. I don't post build pictures or anything like that. I just do it for the hell of it, really.
Yet. You don't do it yet. Well, one reason we loved having we love having you two guys on the show is that you two guys are just like Luke and me. We are all regular vapers. Blaine, remind me, I forgot to ask you this, but you just quit recently, right? Hasn't it been just 3 months or something?
It's been actually on next Friday. It's going to be a full month for me.
Boom! So it's 3 weeks in a day.
Yeah.
And that's another month. So I'm so proud of you. That's great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's funny because I haven't been doing this for that long, and I'm already, the little guru guy up from my little group already. And it's funny. I was at a Christmas party last week, I think, and the girl that was hosting it, one of my friends, she vapes, and she's like, if you want to vape, you can vape inside the house and all that kind of stuff. But I chose to go outside with the smokers so I could maybe try to influence them to get off the cigarettes and to educate them a little bit more, because some of the crap that they were saying and I was hearing was just like, okay. I know
And
you're
if
not
they're a little
stupid.
bit drunk, then they'll listen better.
That too, yeah. Alcohol helps.
Alcohol always helps.
Yeah, I like to
Every
educate people
situation.
too, and it's important to do it in a kind of way that's not confrontational, but to just, if somebody says something blatantly wrong or asks you, if they ask you a question about vaping, try to answer the question about vaping as well as or tell them to come watch our YouTube channel. That's what I tell people. Tune in, man.
That's what I have been telling people now, because some of these questions are a little above my knowledge, anyways, for right now. But
Not for long. Well, I've
not
been
for
getting
long.
questions.
That's just it.
Yeah, we've been getting questions about little things like, how do I transition into being a dripper? Like inevitably, I went from being a cartomizer person to hating that, and then hating the batteries I had, and then wanting something with a tank and a real battery that I can control the voltage. That's the maintenance phase for me.
Yeah.
And after that, people were asking about how to move to, like, what kind of devices to get and what kind of things to do for dripping. And so, are you curious about that, Blaine?
I am curious about it. I've been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of research on it and stuff like that, and I actually have kind of thought that in the next couple of months I'm going to actually get myself a Sigelli of some sort. I was looking at the Fuchai and some RBAs and RTAs so I can start building and stuff like that.
Yeah, just a quick thing. Somebody in chat was going on about GearBest. Please don't buy from GearBest. If you've seen any, I think the guy talking, this is the first time he's watched the show, but I had major issues with GearBest with my DNA 200, and I wouldn't touch them now. I've had to order off them because of the way they gave me some money back, but I would not ever buy from GearBest if it was my own choice.
Well, Fastech is an exception to that, in my opinion. Fastech, they're fine. They have good return policies, and it takes a long time to get stuff from Fastech, but they're legitimate. GearBest, the only problem is, when GearBest goes well, it's fine. But if anything's wrong, you will get no recourse. So just know that.
They do. GearBest do state that they've got a year or a lifetime warranty, but it's
all lies.
Yeah.
All lies. Fastech doesn't lie. GearBest is bad.
Nope. I've only ever had one issue with Fastech, and they paid for me to ship it back and sent me out a new item. So they stuck to their words and did what they say they will do.
Yeah, they're also about shipping, and they can find stuff, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it to you. Cassidy,
Yes.
we have a little bit of echo on somebody. I think somebody's not muted on their YouTube page. Tell me, what is your first mod after you? Did you go into Kanger as well?
Yeah, actually, my first, what I would consider my first true mod after I went from the EVOD was I did the MVP 2 from Innikin, and that, like I said, that completely changed my life, and it opened the door into all the other wonderful world of.
That's a great mod.
Higher tech. It is. It's fantastic. It's the right size. It's about the size of a pack of cigarettes. It fits in your pocket nicely if you are a smoker. And yeah, I ran with the EVOD on that for a little bit. Then I went to the Pro Tank. Then I started getting interested in the Sub-Ohm.
Oh, yeah, you said Pro Tank. I forgot. I was going to bond with you on that. I had a Pro Tank 3, and so you and I both know that was one of Kanger's biggest failures with those coils.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually learned to rebuild on EVOD and Pro Tank heads. So if anybody's looking to learn to build, do that. It's the simplest thing. There's 3 parts in the entire atomizer plus the coil. That's what I'd recommend for somebody who wants to learn how to build. There's lots of good tutorials out there. I know that like Pibasardo has one. Everybody's got a Kanger Pro Tank head rebuild tutorial. Not difficult. But yeah, and then from there I went, like I said, it opened the door and I started getting into sub-ohm stuff because I think the MVP2 won't fire below at 0.9, I believe, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
now I'm, like I said, I'm down to like 0.12, and I've turned into one of those guys.
Well, honestly, for building my own self, when I build, my favorite range is 0.1 to 0.15. So I build, like, for example, that's what I've got on my Lush right now. This is a Hostile Cloud static wire fucking rules, and that's what this is. 22 wrap with some fiber freaks in it, but it's only 4.5 wraps, and this is about 0.14. This is where I like to vape, because I like to vape about 90 to 120 watts on this, with a lot of wicking and a 2.5 millimeter, and that's what I like. That's where
Yeah,
I
usually do 6 wraps of 22 around a 3 mil. Sometimes I'll go down to 5, and yeah,
So you
I like it.
wicking.
Well, I like the fact, yeah, exactly. I like the 3 mil because you can fit a lot of cotton in there.
You like
and
the-
the
yeah.
more cotton I have, the less I have to drip. And with the way that I vape, the less I have to drip, the better.
And so if you're a person who's vaping on a tank, say a Nano, I mean any kind of sub tank, or even one of the regular silos, or any kind of those PVC coils or anything, and you're interested in getting into a rebuildable deck atomizer, an RDA, which is what all these things are called. You know, that's a tank, and that's an RDA. And if you're interested in this, you can pick these things up pretty cheap, but the real question is, hey, what kind of mod do I need? So you can build pretty well on lower power mods, but really, like this 75 watt mod from this VTC Mini 2, sorry, it's early, is just about as low as you want to go. 50 or 60 watts is pretty low amount of power to put into an RDA. You can definitely learn, and you can definitely do well. And but I mean, wouldn't you agree with that, Luke? Like that's a kind of a low number. What do you think is a good mod to start with if you think you're going to go into building RDAs, Luke?
Well, for me, my opinion is probably not the best, because when the first I didn't use tanks for a very long time into starting vaping. I quit in October, and by December, January, I already had my first mech mod and the tugboat RDA, and that is pretty much where dripping started straight away for me. About 2 months into vaping, I was dripping, and have been forever now. So it's really difficult. It depends if you want something instead of, so you can just, like the Sageli, you can buy it and then you don't really need to upgrade it unless you want to buy, obviously, a new mod that's come out. I think the Sageli is a very good mod for somebody that hasn't then got to upgrade in 2-3 weeks or months. If you buy something like an ice stick and then have to upgrade it, like, because you need more power if you want to start lowering your builds. So I'd say the Sageli 150 is a really good mod, and it is pretty built to last a very long time. So
Well, you were talking about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's hard for me because obviously I went in straight into mechanicals. I did do research and make sure that obviously I wasn't going to kill myself by using the wrong batteries and things like that, which isn't something people should be getting into unless you know what you're doing with mechanical mods.
Well, I know that we were talking about power compared to RDAs. Yeah, 50, 60 watts is really low to be running through an RDA. On my mech, with a fully charged battery, I did some calculations a while ago. I'm actually pulling with a 0.12 to 0.15 ohm coil. I'm pulling about 150 watts with a mechanical mod. So if you want to get into RDAs and you want a regulated mod, you really do, to get the kind of performance that people might want, you've got to have, a 200 watt, either a DNA, you got to have, buy a Snow Wolf, buy a Hot Sig. Otherwise, you're not going to get the vapor production that you want out of a regulated mod with an RDA.
Well, the thing about power that you get, you don't have to have a lot of power, but you need about 130, 120 watts to give yourself enough flexibility and a headroom to start building and doing stuff.
Yeah.
To start building and using higher and weirder coils, you need more watts. You never go up to 200 watts, but you end up needing some of that headroom to be able to ramp up faster and do some other stuff. So right now in history is a killer time to start thinking about this, because everyone and their dog is coming out with good 150, 200 watt mods that operate on 2 batteries. And so that one that Sageli that he just mentioned is good. The new Fukai is probably going to be good. Kanger is coming out with a 2 battery 120 or 200 watt mod that has temperature control and everything soon. There's a lot of them coming out, and also the Rouleau. In fact, I think that we should just spend a minute talking about the Rouleau because it's been on the news constantly in the last week. And,
Before we get into the Rouleau, if you are going to get into RDAs, and obviously anything say 0.5 or lower, if you're going to build that sort of low, you're going to want something that has got two 18650s. Single battery mods are going to be no good, because they're going to, unless you're going to be willing to change your batteries like every 2 hours. They will.
Well, and that is the lesson, and I can show you the actual test, because if you take a tube mod with a new battery and you stick it in there, you get just about a little over 100 watts, 110 watts or so, out of a regular 18650. I can't find one that's charged here in my thing, but this has a bypass mode. And so what I've done is I can stick this on here, and it acts exactly like it's a tube mod. And if I go into bypass, you find out that you only get about 100 watts straight, and then the wattage is only a function of how many amps you have coming out of the battery. So as your amps lower, you get less power. That's why we have regulated mods, because these squeeze more power out of the batteries and keep the wattage the same for you. So 120, 130 watts is about what you need, and there's a lot of mods like that, and there have been a lot of mods like that. That IPV is fucking killer. It's really good. I think that the rouleau that's coming out is going to be very useful for a lot of people, because it's a 3 battery mod that can go up to 200. They have a cheap version and a DNA 200 version.
Yeah, and talking about the rouleau, I can understand why they came out with a triple 18650, because not me personally, I don't mind lipos, but if you go on YouTube or the internet and type in lipos, most of the things that are going to come up are these things exploding, catching on fire, burning your house down, and it's one reason why people won't touch lipos, and I understand that. And obviously older vapors, they don't want to deal with that if it goes wrong. That's why they're sticking with 18650s. Okay, they're not 100% safe, but we don't have issues to the extreme that if a lipo catches on fire, it is going to do some damage. But they are still safe to use.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Lipos, for vapors, it's interesting. We have to remember that lipos are not new, and they're not unsafe or anything like that. All batteries, if you misuse them and put them in bad things and do them wrong and overtax them and have bad electronics, will vent and do bad things. Lipos fail in a different way that's slightly tougher, so it's on the manufacturers. These guys need to learn how to make lipos work better in these. When you're watching a scooter video and the lipo blows up, don't think that that's the equivalent of this blowing up, because this is not a scooter, and the DNA 200 chip is better than anything they put in that scooter. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of what you use the lipo for. There's a lot of RC guys and RC control guys who will tell you that lipos are fine, but you have to use the right electronics. You have to charge them correctly. You have to understand them. So going back to battery safety, you must understand battery safety.
Yeah, and obviously, like I just said, everything that the main thing that we pick up every day has a lipo in it.
Yeah, they're all over your life.
We put this next to our face.
Yeah, they're all over your life. Lipos are very well understood. They're in use all over the industry, and it's because they're good. But they're a different kind of battery. Lipos work like baklava. They're layers. They aren't linear chemistry like these are.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. But what in a few years, 5 years ago, vapors had never heard of 18650s, or were just starting to. In 5 more years, they'll just be laying around, and we'll all be using self-encapsulated lipos.
Yep.
That's my prediction. So for beginning that, so don't forget, guys, also, we're going to do a giveaway in the chat here in a little while for the Adore Holiday line, and we're going to do a giveaway for the replay that we're going to talk about a little bit later, too. So don't forget. A little note there.
That Royal Hunter.
Yeah, the Royal Hunter, which is killer. So you have so many choices for mods right now. It's just important to note that if you want to start dripping, just get something. The hidden cost is you have to buy batteries. So if you don't get something that has a built-in battery like a DNA 200, you could save a little money doing that because they're very versatile. But there's only a couple of DNA 200s I would even recommend, and one of them is the H-Cigar one, and the other one is probably the Tug Life one.
Yeah.
That's...
And the rouleau.
Oh, and the rouleau, and I would recommend the rouleau. Also,
it is a pain, obviously. you got to remember the Rulo is 18650s, so and it used as free. So unless you want to wait like 10 hours for them to charge, you are going to need 6 batteries.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Lane, what have you been looking at? Have you been actually shopping out different kinds of mods?
I have been shopping out. I've been doing research. I've been looking at it for the last month or so, and I'm going to continue to look at them because the one thing I want to say is, if you're new and you're getting into this, take your time. Look at all your options. Look at everything, all the specs, everything, because there is a lot of stuff out there, and not everything's going to be for you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Carry on, Blaine.
I've been looking at mostly at Sigeli's, the Rouleau. I've been looking at Snow Wolf. That's mostly about it that I've been looking at that might be for me. But again, I don't really have any way of testing them because most of those mods aren't even in my stores to go and look at hand.
Yeah, and when we're on you, Blaine, for a little minute, I don't know too much about it, but I know a little bit. I know a few people want to know what it's like in Canada trying to get mods and e-juice and what the issues you have over there.
Well, see, the mods are a lot simpler, but it is still hard to get them in because our customs are allowed to, if they don't like the mod or if the mod is too high wattage or something like that, they will confiscate it right off the get-go, which is kind of frustrating. Most of our stores that are in my town anyways, they do get some of those high wattage mods and stuff like that, but not a whole lot. Like they get the big brand names like Sigeli, Snow Wolf, but that's really all about it. And for e-juices, it is frustrating as all hell. I've said it a little earlier before, but I can't. It's hard for me to get, like the Larry Webb's stuff that I've been wanting to try. It's hard to get me the Adore stuff that I've been absolutely really wanting to try. Unless it's a big company, it doesn't really get up here all that much.
And so, what about DIY? Is that an easier option for you in Canada to do DIY?
DIY, I can't do.
Can you buy nicotine?
No.
At all?
At all. Nothing. Anything. If it's straight nicotine, the Canadian government counts that as a drug, and we can't have that. When I'm buying juices, I can only have a 3 mil or lower juice, and sometimes that is even 3 mils is even too much.
That's insane. That's so low. That's worse than EU.
I know.
How does it work for the shops to get nicotine juice into Canada then?
That I'm not too sure about. I wanted to go to actually do my shop before the show happened to ask them some questions because I kind of thought this was going to come up, but I didn't get a chance to.
It seems strange that you wouldn't be able to buy it, but they can obviously sell it.
I mean, they go through more of the bigger brands, and even my store, like RPI, they don't carry 6s, they don't carry 12s, they carry 3s, 0s, and that's about it.
Well, one thing maybe it's like the alcohol producers or the a liquor license here in the U.S. where maybe as a business, as a shop, as a producer, maybe they have a license that allows them to procure things that they might not be able to the average end user. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean import laws. It could just be part of their law says they can still can't buy it as a citizen. I mean,
when I do order from the States, from Skynet Vapors or Sky Line Vapors or whatever it is, when they send me e-juice, my packages always say skin lotion or something on those kind of lines. And I had a problem with customs.
Into its vape tank and vape it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it will rub the vape onto its tongue.
Put their lotion on the skins.
Yeah.
Also gets the drip again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating because I mean, we all want to quit smoking. We all want to be healthier and stuff. And I don't quite understand why our governments are saying no, you can't have this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you want us to die then? Like,
Yeah, he's
what
telling
is your
me.
issue?
And don't forget also, viewers, there's a documentary coming out this year called A Billion Lives. And that documentary, A Billion Lives, is going to show everybody how at least the American government is lying and being paid to keep you smoking and die.
And
They want you to
it is
die.
actually going to show a little bit of the Canadian government as well. I actually started
That's
talking to
good.
them on Facebook a little bit.
That's
But
good.
yeah, it's
Please-
frustrating than all hell.
Yeah. Please also forgive their dogs barking outside my house. Hey, let's answer a couple of these questions in chat. People are talking about just RDAs. And so, real quick, I'll just say that my favorite ideas for beginner RDAs that are inexpensive are Velocity Clone from Fastech, $18. These are great. They're made by Tobacco. Make sure you get a Tobacco one. Anything by Watofo, I recommend, and they're inexpensive. Freak
Tugboat.
Show, Lush, and the Tugboat. That's
Luke's
my favorite.
tugboat over there.
Absolutely love the Tugboat. First RDA I ever had.
So, Lush, Freak Show, Tugboat, Velocity, those are good. The Velocity deck is weird for beginners, but if you're a beginner, it's not going to be any weirder than any other deck because you're a beginner. And so you just have to learn how to use an Allen screw and do things a certain way. But 3 YouTube videos and you'll figure it out.
One more question for Blaine about Canada. Do you find then, because of the fact that you can't really buy online, do you find your shops in Canada put up the prices because they know you have to go to them to buy e-juice?
I think so. I don't like my shop doesn't bring up the prices a whole lot. It does bring up the prices. Like, I mean, to buy a 30 ml bottle of Suicide Bunny here is about $28 a bottle, which can be outrageous.
That's way cheap compared to the U.S.
Well, again, yeah, I guess so.
It's 25 here. Well, Seattle is an expensive city, though, so I can't speak for
Well, this
everyone.
is 28.
I see.
28 for a 30 ml bottle, and like 120 for a or 120 for a 120 ml bottle, roughly, give or take.
Then I stand corrected. That's not cheap at all.
No.
I was forgetting there's a currency conversion.
And and our dollar's weak right now.
I know. I'm like, I forget.
But
Actually, just did a calculation. That is cheaper there. That's only $20.35 in American.
75 cents on the dollar, but that isn't fair. I mean, the point is that it's your money and it's what you earn.
yeah,
So
and it is a little frustrating. I mean, like the mods. Oh boy, those get downright expensive. Like, I was looking at the Sigeli 150, and some of the shops here are selling it for almost $250. Yeah.
No way.
Because we have no other places. I mean, I can order online, but then I'm running the risk of I'm not getting to see the product. Or if I do order online, if I order online from a Canadian retailer, like it's in Ontario or out in Alberta or whatnot, I can get it cheaper. But again, it's still gotta wait the time, gotta do the research and all that kind of stuff.
It just seems crazy that, because obviously with that sort of thing, it makes it sound like they're opening shops for money and not for the reason why you should be opening a vape shop to actually help people get off cigarettes.
Yeah, it's the reason why you're going to be opening up a doctor's office soon, right, Luke?
Yeah, that's right.
So you can prescribe vaping.
And SD Jones, that is only for where I am at in like my little hometown area. I can't get these kind of stuff. Other places in like Toronto and the bigger cities and stuff, yeah, they can get all this stuff easily, no problem.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. My understanding is that Saskatchewan is the black hole of Canada as far as vaping.
Yeah.
And the other provinces are not quite so.
No, like the other provinces have it no problem, and I can order from the other provinces. But again, it's harder for me in Saskatchewan to get these stuff, especially in Saskatoon, which is even a smaller town, and we have maybe 2 vape shops, 3, 4 at the most, and they all sell the exact same things. The only difference between these vape shops are the customer service, which is a big thing, but that's about it.
Cassidy, how are the vape shops over where you live?
Where I live, my town where I live right now, There's one tobacco shop, and they kind of sell vape stuff. They sell whatever the Smoke Tech tube is, and they sell a lot of EVOD style kits. You know, CE4 clearomizers, and then the EVOD style batteries and stuff like that. Nothing really major. There's one that used to be a really good vape shop about an hour away. You saw my Instagram post where I was calling them out on their juices.
Yeah.
The house brand juice, it just turned to shit. So I mean, really, downstate more so in the larger cities, because I live in kind of a small town where I have no dedicated vape shops. Downstate, there's quite a lot going on. You get into the Grand Rapids area, the Detroit area, Lansing, Ann Arbor, tons of vape shops. Up here, nothing. We have no B&Ms. I'm strictly an online buyer.
Yikes, you're a little bit in the woods out there.
I'm in the sticks, my friend.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, in America, that's okay.
Right.
Yeah, in Canada, in the States is not a good thing.
So, did you want to do the giveaway, Juicy, for live chat?
Yeah, I would love to. But we didn't decide what to do about it. But here's what we're going to do. We're giving away 2 30ml bottles, and this is a U.S.-only giveaway, unfortunately, just because that's going to be the easiest way. You'll never get it if we try to do this internationally. So U.S. only. In the chat, you're going to type something, and we're going to give away 2 30ml bottles of the special Holiday Adore e-liquid lines. There's 2 of them. There's Caramel Apple Crisp, and there is Jingle Mints, and they're both delicious, and Jesus Christ, they're going to disappear so fast. So it's a pretty cool giveaway, and thank you, Dawn Michelle from Adore, for providing us with that. Luke, what do they have to do?
What should we get them to do? Hashtag Christmas.
Yeah, whoever types in hashtag Christmas first, type it in, hashtag Christmas. Now we wait 40 seconds.
Yeah, while we're waiting, just a quick question, Blaine. Have you ever thought about maybe moving to a different part of Canada where it'd be easier for you to vape, or?
I'm actually thinking about moving, not due to vaping, just due to because I've lived in Saskatchewan my whole entire life. But the problem is that I find my kind of work, it's not everywhere for the construction I do. And I have to also think about my wife and my 3 kids and my other, and all the pains of moving.
Yeah.
So,
Lucy, are you watching the chat? I don't know what you want to do.
Do we count Hello Angel?
I don't know.
I mean,
She put Star Christmas and then hashtag Shitmas.
That's okay. You can, Brittany, you can win. That's fine. That's great. And she's great.
So you just email Juicy Jones.
Yeah, email me at juicyjones@gmail.com and we'll get that off to you. That's funny though. Yeah, can you type? You don't have to type that well on our show. We get the spirit of it. You do have to get that close though. Let me just tell you, that's as close as you can get. And also, if you've won within a month, you can't win again. But that's only happens every month. So
yeah,
that only happens every month because our show is small. And again, thank everybody here. If you like the show, subscribe, tell your friends, and we're going to do a giveaway here in a few minutes, right before the end, for a freaking Royal Hunter, which is so cool. Yeah. So let's talk about final words, and then we'll, unless you guys want to talk about something else, we can just do everyone's final thoughts, and then we'll do a giveaway, and then vape out. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Anything else you guys want to mention? Any shout-outs you want to do?
Nah. Other than Adore e-liquid, and follow everybody's Instagram. Post your Instagram in the chat. Let everybody follow you. Make new friends.
Yeah,
vaping's a community. It's not just a hobby. You know, everybody's got to stick together, otherwise the entire thing's gonna fall apart.
Yeah. All of us met through vaping, and we love this show. We do it because of you, and so we thank you. We thank everybody in chat. We thank everybody on the replay who's watching, and it's just, I mean, we love sharing this stuff with you guys, and I like hearing from you guys. So email me, email Luke, subscribe to everybody. You know, we'll be in contact with you. We like you guys. So let's give away a Royal Hunter next week.
Yes, we shall. I've got a little picture that I'll pop up. If screen share's gonna work, there it is. So we're going to be giving away a Royal Hunter RDA, and because it is obviously Star Wars week next week, in the comments on the replay when it gets uploaded after the show, all I want you to do is hashtag Star Wars week.
Star Wars week.
That's all I want you to put in the comments. And obviously then we will pick a winner and we will announce it on Sunday. Don't forget, guys, Sunday next week. because Juicy is going to watch Star Wars.
Yes, don't forget next week, Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday, because Star Wars. Yes.
Yeah, it will be posted anyway, like it always is on Facebook and My Vaporium and Instagram. That the show is on Sunday.
Well, all of you are great. We love you. We love vapors. Let's vape out.
Thank you.